In the heart of the Appalachian Mountains, nestled in a valley often kissed by morning mist, lived an old farmer named Jedediah. Jed, as his few neighbors called him, wasn't your ordinary farmer. He was a man who lived by the rhythm of the seasons and held a deep, quiet respect for the wilderness that bordered his land. But every year, as the first snowflakes began to dance in the chilled air, Jed would start a peculiar ritual, one he had inherited from his grandfather. He would pack a sturdy wooden crate with the bounty of his late harvest, crisp apples, hearty potatoes, jars of preserved berries, and thick slabs of cured ham. He'd load it onto his old sleigh, hitch up his faithful horse, Bess, and journey to the edge of the sprawling ancient forest. There, in a small clearing known only to him, he would leave the crate, a silent offering to the mountains and whatever mysteries they held. His grandfather had called it a debt to the mountain's keeper. Old tales, passed down through generations, spoke of a large, hairy creature that roamed the dense woods. A silent guardian, a shy giant. Most folks dismissed these stories as folklore, campfire tales to spook children, but Jed's family believed that showing kindness to this creature, this Bigfoot, as outsiders called it, ensured a mild winter and a bountiful spring. So every winter, without fail, Jed made his pilgrimage. He never saw who or what took the food. He'd return a week later to find the crate empty, sometimes with a single, perfect eagle feather or an oddly shaped river stone left in its place. To Jed, these were tokens of thanks, a quiet communication between his world and the one hidden in the deep woods. Years turned into decades. Jed's hair turned from sandy brown to silver, and his face became a roadmap of wrinkles, each one telling a story of sun, wind, and hard work. The world outside his valley changed rapidly, with new technologies and bustling cities. But in Jed's corner of the world, time moved at its own pace. The ritual remained a constant, a sacred pact between him and the forest. One year, the winter was particularly harsh. It came in with a roar, a blizzard that buried the valley under a thick blanket of snow deeper than anyone could remember. The wind howled like a hungry wolf, and the temperatures plummeted, freezing everything solid. Jed, now well into his 70s, was caught off guard. His firewood supply, which he thought was plentiful, dwindled at an alarming rate. He was snowed in, the path to the woodshed completely impassable under drifts as tall as he was. For days he rationed his wood, the warmth in his small cabin fading. The cold seeped into his old bones, and a deep worry began to set in. He was alone, isolated, and the storm showed no signs of letting up. He hadn't been able to make his usual trip to the forest clearing. The crate of food sat by his door, a reminder of his broken promise to the mountain's keeper. He looked out his frosted window at the white, unforgiving landscape and felt a pang of guilt, followed by a wave of despair. One morning, he awoke shivering, his breath pluming in the frigid air. The last of his firewood had turned to embers during the night. The cabin was dangerously cold. He huddled under every blanket he owned, his body aching, He knew with a heavy heart that he might not have the strength to survive this. He was too old, too tired to fight the biting cold. As he drifted in and out of a weary sleep, he thought of his grandfather and the stories of the forest guardian. "Looks like this is the end of the line. Old friend," he whispered to the empty room. Just as he was about to surrender to the cold, a strange sound broke the silence. A heavy, rhythmic thumping from outside his cabin. Thump, thump. It was slow, deliberate, and powerful. Yet's heart fluttered with a mix of fear and curiosity. Who could possibly be out in this weather? The sound grew closer, right up to his front porch. Then silence. Jed lay frozen, listening. After a long moment, he heard a heavy scraping sound, followed by a loud, solid thud against his front door. Then the thumping footsteps receded, fading back into the howling wind. Hesitantly, Jed pushed aside his blankets. Every movement was an effort, his joints stiff with cold. He slowly made his way to the door, his hand trembling as he reached for the latch. He pulled the heavy wooden door open just a crack and peeked outside. What he saw made him gasp. The massive snowdrift that had blocked his porch was gone, cleared away as if by a giant shovel. But that wasn't what stunned him. Piled neatly on his porch was a mountain of firewood. It stood for a second, its head turned towards the cabin before it melted silently back into the trees, vanishing as if it were never there. Yet's eyes welled with tears, not from the cold, but from overwhelming gratitude. He knew, with absolute certainty, who had saved him. The mountain's keeper, the guardian, Bigfoot. For decades, Jed had left food, a simple act of kindness and respect. And now, in his moment of greatest need, the favor had been returned 100-fold. From that day on, Yet's ritual changed. He still left the crate of food every winter, but now he also left a bundle of his finest milled wool blankets and a set of sturdy hand-carved tools. He never saw the creature up close again, but sometimes, on a quiet winter evening, he'd see a flicker of movement at the edge of the woods, or find a single large footprint in the snow near the clearing. The story of the farmer and his unlikely friend became a quiet legend in the valley. It was a testament to a simple truth Jed had always known, that kindness, no matter how small or to whom it is given, is a seed, and you never know when or how it will grow, sometimes blossoming into a miracle when you need it most. The mountain had its keeper, and the keeper had his friend. And in the quiet heart of the Appalachians, that bond was stronger than the harshest winter. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more tales that explore the hidden wonders of our world. We'd love to have you as part of our community. Stay curious, and we'll see you in the next video.